Well, hi, I'm very excited to be here today. I'm excited to introduce to you a friend of mine, somebody that's in the business here, is Dave Holder with Assisted Living Locators. And Dave, tell me, who's Assisted Living Locators?
Oh, hey, Jim. Well, thanks so much for having me. So, we are a placement service for families and seniors looking to make the transition to independent living, assisted living, or memory care. And we're not just a referral service where we're going to send you a list of communities that could be a good fit. You can kind of think of us as like a realtor for senior living. And that parallel works really well because if you go to buy a house, you don't pay the realtor, it's the seller that pays that. And it's the same thing with me. I'm going to work directly with you so you understand the market, but we're going to talk about not only financial and location, but we're going to dig down a little bit deeper and make sure we make a good fit from a cultural level as well as a care level. And yeah, I stay with you throughout the process, go on the tours with you, and we're here to make usually a very overwhelming and difficult time very smooth, and you can make an educated and informed decision at that time.
Well, I was going to say, I've always equated you to that realtor thing. I come from a realtor background, and I would call you a buyer's agent, which is what would be
Okay.
considered in the
Yeah.
realtor world. You're not listing them; you're basically helping them negotiate through all the other seller sides. Um,
Yeah.
So tell me what I would have loved to have known about you when I was helping with my own family members, because it's so frustrating and so scary out there trying to figure out, am I asking the right questions? Am I at the right place? Is this going to be a good fit? So, how did you get here? What got you into this? I never even heard of this until I met you a couple of years ago. So.
Yeah, and certainly my family, we didn't know about it either. But yeah, my background is like landscaping, horticulture, snow removal. So it makes perfect sense, right, to go into senior living. It's the perfect jump. But no, really, my story is we went through this with my father-in-law about 3 years ago. He had been diagnosed with dementia. He was living in the home, and you know, he declined really rapidly, and it was a mad scramble. What is the next step? My mother-in-law, we realized, couldn't take care of him, but where do we go? What questions do we ask? Where do we start? It was just this overwhelming, scary time. And we went through it, and we did the best we could and made a decision that turned out to not be a good one. And that works on a couple levels. It wasn't a great fit community-wise, but we didn't know what questions to ask. We didn't know how to transition my father-in-law very well. So a lot of best intentions, but we made some mistakes. And after 3 months, we said, oh, we need to find another community, and started the whole process all over again. So it was like two rounds of stress, and did that. And shortly, I guess it was the spring of 2018, I was looking to make a transition and was looking at franchises and what opportunities were there. And carpet cleaning and cleaning out grease vents and restaurants didn't really bang my shutters too much. But this opportunity came, and I was like, oh my God, helping people, being a resource, this exactly lines up to what I want to do, and pursued it. And I love the idea that my service is no cost, because that's really my driving force, is to stay proactive. I don't want families to have to go through what my family went through. So you're not wasting my time. Please stay proactive, reach out to me. You're not going to pay anything. So long story short, that was what I decided to do in June of 2018, was to be a resource.
That's awesome. Well, you made the comment that they're not paying you, so there's no real reason to be afraid to talk to you. Okay, so
Right,
the clock is not
exactly.
running. What's it like to I call you? What's my experience going to be?
Great. No, that's a great question. So yeah, what I really want to do, there's kind of 4 steps that go along with that. So the first step is going to be like the assessment. We're going to talk about location, price, budget, but we're also going to talk about long-term goals. What is the care levels that you need? What is the goal of the family? Long-term. Years from now, where do you want to be, and is this the last move you have to make? But we're also going to talk about what's important to the family. Is it safety? Is it the care? Is it going to be the activities? Is it going to be a social life? Memory care is always a big option. There's a lot of different avenues that we're going to go through there. So we're really going to drill down what's important to the family. And we're also going to talk about strategizing. 9 times out of 10, it's the kids that contact me. So we're going to discuss, mom and dad, are they on board with this? If they're not, how do we strategize with that? And that's a really good thing to discuss too. So we get a good plan of attack on board. And of course, how quickly. So we're going to get all of that together in like the first conversation. The second step is where I'm going to provide some recommendations. And I like to narrow that down to like 3 choices for the family, because more than that, it's just really, really overwhelming. So I'll provide those recommendations. The family likes those options. We're going to go to kind of the next step is when we're going to tour. So I'll be sharing with them how I kind of organize the what notes for them, so we keep it really clean and straightforward. I go on the tours with the family, so we've been doing that for the last year, be virtually or in person when we can. Certainly like to do that. I stick with them, and then I kind of act as a psychiatrist, realtor, devil's advocate, you know, all of those things for them to make sure we can narrow down the right choice, and then we make that decision, and I can be involved in the transition up to that point, you know, connecting them with movers, anything like that, that they need me to. So kind of go through those 4 steps where I'm their partner really throughout the whole process.
Well, that's excellent. Well, tell me, who are you? Tell me about Dave. What's, what do you do when you're not helping people find a place to live?
Yeah, I work out of my home here in Broad Ripple. I'm married, been married 17 years to my lovely wife, Carolyn. She's an artist and a teacher at IUPUI, Heron School of Art. No kids, but 1 dog that we dote over pretty heavily. And I'm a huge music fan. You can probably see back there, those are all my albums. And then back behind that are my CDs. You can see a guitar there that I'm very terrible at playing, but I just love collecting music and banging away at that thing not very well. So that's what I do. I'm heavily involved at the beautification part of the Broad Ripple Village Association. That's very passionate to be involved with the community. I'm a Dementia Friends champion. That's I did your training, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, so that's very great. Alzheimer's Association I got involved in this year. Just tremendous organization for a lot of levels, and I'm going to be really involved this year in the walk and as a committee member. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, this, how do I say this? I love this. Really, what I do really checks the boxes for being a resource and helping people. And it really, I guess I know it's cliche to say that I found my calling, but it is just so rewarding. And I just want to make sure that I can help whoever, comes across my desk as a referral or, just point them in the right direction. So I just love what I do. I want to keep doing it.
Well, let me ask you a question. Should anyone be afraid to get a hold of you because they're not sure they're really ready to do this yet and they're just doing the early exploratory, or would you help them kind of get started in that whole thought process?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, back to like being free, I think people can be a little skeptical of that, oh, well, nothing's free. Well, it is, and you're not wasting my time. So I can't say that enough. So it's really never too early, if you think that mom and dad, this might be something that they're looking for post-COVID, but you don't know what's out there. Yeah, it's better to reach out to me and let's just have that conversation. And I can explain to you what the costs are, what your options are, and how all of this comes together. And then we can go at your pace. I'm not there my goal is to not overwhelm you. I can certainly talk to you about all these different options and there's this and there's that, but I don't want to do that. So we can go at a nice leisurely pace to make sure that you're absorbing this information. We can take time strategizing of what levers you want to pull when that time comes. And really, the sooner you do it, the less stress you're going to have. But at the same time, if somebody calls me today and says, we got to move dad tomorrow, what can we do? We'll figure it out.
Well, very good. Well, you want to leave your phone number or name, your number and contact information? So
yeah, absolutely. It's Dave Holder, and you can reach me via email at dholder, HOLDER, at assistedlivinglocators.com. My office line is 317 854-9030, and feel free to reach out. That rings to my cell phone, so I'm never far from the office, even it's down here in the basement. So I'm happy to help. This has been great, Jim. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. So I'll hit the record now. So